for more, we'll cross to our reporter, Julia Kim, who's standing by there. Hi, Julia. So what do you think we can expect from Elisabeth Borne in her remarks today?
Well, as you said, Aaron, Elisabeth Borne will begin her speech from a far weakened position. Emmanuel Macron doesn't have an absolute majority in Parliament, and they're all very much aware of that. Her main message today is expected to be something along the lines of let's build together. Very much she's going to talk about compromising without compromising values per se, trying to get as many allies as possible on board. Now, Emmanuel Macron's government failed to woo any of the opposition members to break ranks and join their party. So essentially, this is a very weak government, and Elisabeth Borne knows that she needs to appeal to left-wing voters and the left-wing opposition. So her main themes, her main policy priorities for the next 5 years are going to be full employment from now until 2027, the climate crisis, so everything to do with the environmental transition into green energies, etc., and a third one, which is equal opportunities. So these themes are very much seen as moving the cursor of the government's policy priorities very much to the left. Now, of course, within those three themes, she's going to address the cost of living crisis, inflation, how to get people back into work, and things like that. So we'll expect to see that. Now, another possible strategy that's emerged from this speech, we're hearing that she might be evoking something of her own personal history, because she has been criticised for being quite wooden, quite robotic. So there's a chance that she might start to talk about her family, open a bit about her personal life a little bit. So we're hoping to see that. We're not really sure, but in any case, this is what's expected to come out of the speech today. Those three themes, plus perhaps Elisabeth Borne opening herself up to the French public a little bit, so we can see another sort of more human side to her. We're also going to see as well her evoking the fact that there is essentially no support for Emmanuel Macron's government among the opposition. She hasn't managed to convince politicians from Les Républicains, the traditional right-wing party, to form a coalition. So she's going to evoke the fact that they're going to have to form a coalition text by text. So every bill that passes is going to have to be a coalition-building exercise in a sense. So we're going to see what more she has to say about that later on.
Now, Julia, you said she's the head of a very weak government for all of the reasons that you just expressed there. And for this, she decided not to hold a no confidence vote. Was it just considered to be too risky for her?
Exactly. People have been saying that this would be political suicide, that it could possibly trigger a constitutional crisis if she went there. As you said earlier, it is something of a French tradition for prime ministers to call a vote of confidence after laying out their policy roadmap. But this time it was just deemed way too risky. Elisabeth Borne, of course, and her government don't have an absolute majority. Now, she's foregone that particular tradition, but essentially the opposition, NUP's left-wing alliance rather, have decided to call what's called a motion of censure. Now, a motion of censure is essentially what's called when the motion of confidence, when the vote of confidence doesn't happen. For that, you need 58 MPs. So all of the NUP's politicians have essentially agreed to do this, except in order to pass that motion of censure, which acts like a vote of confidence, you need an absolute majority. Now, that's very unlikely to happen, but essentially this is in a way a symbolic gesture for the opposition to say, look, we're here to block you, and we're here to make it known that we have other priorities for this government, for this country.
All right, Julia Kim, we'll see how the opposition reacts to her remarks in just a little bit of time to go, just under an hour. Julia Kim, thank you very much.